Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video, and Blizzard is listening and responding. As with the totally hectic and botched release of patch 12.0.5, a lot of players were heavily disgruntled, and Blizzard made a promise that they would be responding to and listening to feedback. So this major hotfix update is the first of that. We also have some class changes to cover as well, which are targeting most of the tank specializations, with a couple of bug fixes as well, which will be nice for some DPS specializations. So if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, educational and entertaining content, then make sure to smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. So for Death Knights for Blood, they're looking to smooth out the damage intake. They're buffing your parry rate to 25% on your Dancing Rune weapon. They're buffing your stamina to 40% from Blood Fortification. They're buffing your Death Strike healing to 15% from 5. And for Dance of Midnight, it will grant Dancing Rune weapon for 8 seconds up from 6, which then with the bonus parry. And Dance of Midnight chance to proc is also going to be increased from 12.5 from 10. Now, obviously in PvE, this is to try and equalize you with Brewmaster and with Guardian. Time will tell if this is actually enough to get you there. But in PvP, this is, I mean, you might just be borderline unkillable. Like, that seems very significant. For Unholy Death Knights, you're going to be able to track Death and Decay on your cooldown manager now. For Vengeance Demon Hunters, they're looking at buffing their baseline defense across the board. So they are increasing demonic wards to reduce damage from 12% up from 8. Thick Skin will provide you 55% stamina up from 50. And your Mastery Fell Blood is being increased by 20%. For Void Reaver, they will now cause Frailty to reduce damage taken by 5% up from 4. So again, just mainly durability here. Vengeance, I think, was tracking pretty low on Mythic Plus overall. But again, does traverse over into PvP as well. So as a flag carrier, as a Vengeance Demon are bouncing around, you will likely feel these buffs in PvP as well. Will this be enough for you to pass Guardian? Guardian probably still going to do the most damage. Brewmaster maybe is likely going to still be the most tanky. For Guardian Druids, they're nerfing Thrash damage by 25%. Just Guardian Druid damage is way over the top. They are also nerfing Illune's Favored. It will only heal you for 15% of the arcane damage dealt, down from 25. Now, a lot of people are saying this is the end of Guardian. I don't think it's going to be. I think the Guardian will still likely be totally fine, at least in Mythic Plus. In PvP, this does feel a bit bad because Thrashers are going to be your main damage output, but you still have all the utility, spam shapeshifting, and still decent like 1v1 on Guardian, although I don't see a lot of them recently here. For Marksmanship Hunter, they've corrected an issue where Explosive Shot applied from Salvo talent did not properly grant lock and load from the Shrapnel Shot talent when applied. So certain talent combinations, you're going to get your instant aim shot actually working. For Protection Paladins, I think this is the one that a lot of PvE content creators are saying is the biggest one, the biggest deal, which ironically Prot Paladin is already strong in PvP, and now this is coming in, so you might just be godlike in PvP. But in Mythic Plus 2, Blessing of the Dusk is going to reduce damage taken by 20%, increasing as your health decreases. The lower health you are, you take even less damage. For Sanctified Plates, you're going to get 7 to 15% more stamina, up from 5 to 10. Ardent Defender duration increased to 12, up from 8, and Ardent Defender now reduces damage by 30%, up from 20. Sentinel duration is also being increased to 20, up from 16. So your shield wall is a lot more effective, and your passive mitigation is also going to hopefully be enough. But again, if you get one shot before you trigger into range for this, then maybe it's not going to help you out too much, but the extra stamina might increase the likelihood that you will hit that threshold. For Restoration, they've corrected an issue where Downpour would consume Nature Swiftness and Ancestral Swiftness. In PvE, I think it's a problem. In PvP, I'm not sure if you even play Downpour. So I don't think you do, so it's not going to be too much impact here. This change is really nice for Warlock. They fixed an issue where Diabolic Aculi would target creatures that are not in combat with their summoner. I noticed this in Mythic Plus first, but I think it actually happens in PvP as well. So your random summoned extra demons would attack random objects against the wall of dungeons, but I think they would randomly target things in PvP too. So this is a nice little pet micromanagement fix for the game as a whole. For Protection Warriors, they are looking to make you guys more tanky as well, with Fight Through the Flames reducing magic damage taken by 6% up from 4, Phalanx damage reducing damage enemies deal to you by 8 up from 5, and Ignore Pain is getting an 8% increase. So again, trying to equalize the tanks here. Probably going to have more significant impact in PvP. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see any like counteractions for these buffs in PvP. I think that they kind of just rushed these through to try and get tank balance as good as they can because it was pretty bad. in Delves, Light Spores in Suncaller Sanctum should no longer interrupt channeled spells. I think there's a big deal, though, about PvP, hopefully, here as well. For housing, players who purchased the Rufus bundle can now buy additional copies of the decor in that bundle from promotional decor resupply vendors. So you can keep, okay, so you can get infinite housing decor of that item. For items, they fixed an issue where Dundon's Abundant Travel Method toy would teleport players to the incorrect location. That would be inconvenient. They fixed an issue preventing weapons and trinkets crafted before 12.0.5 from being ineligible for Voidcore upgrades. And also, speaking of Voidcore upgrades, the PvE community was literally up in arms, like pitchforks on fire, because these items were RNG. They are changing it. Not until tomorrow, though, so you might want to save your lockouts. Tomorrow, it will be a 100% drop rate. These were already available in PvP. We were gathering them from rated PvP, although they were RNG from PvP, and I don't know if it means that they're going to be 100% in PvP now or not, but you also got them on defeat, so it wasn't that bad to get them from PvP, and this lets you upgrade your weapon and your 2 trinkets to 298 item level, which is very major in PvP. So they're going to have 100% drop rates from heroic and mythic raid kills, from mythic plus 10s or highers with no cap, so you can spam mythic 10s. Delve tier 11 bountiful chests, so that is limited depending on how many keys you have. Nightmare Prey champion gearboxes as well, so if you want to do solo content, you'll be able to get upgrades there as well. And they will drop slightly more from ritual sites at tier 5 difficulty. In all of the content not listed, the drop rates will be reduced. We will confirm tomorrow when the hotfixes are live, so that you hopefully don't waste your lockouts. But it's good that they responded to this, because the PvE community, this was literally like 20 minutes later, bam, okay, no, we're not doing RNG. We're aware. So it seems like it's very important that if we have feedback about the game, because I'm scrolling past to it and I'm skipping it right now, if we have feedback about the game, like MMR being an issue, we got to make some videos, we got to make some posts, and we got to make some noise, because they're being highly responsive to this stuff at the moment. So they have significantly increased rating gains from 2v2, 3v3, and solo shuffle matches. So if you've been playing, you felt hard stuck, 1700, you can't get your Galaxy weapon enchant, you're really annoyed, or you thought Gladiator was impossible. I've been playing a bit today. I've already gone up 200 rating in the small amount of time that I've been queuing, and it's likely just going to keep going up, because there is still weekly inflation that gets injected as time moves on. So if you felt stuck and you couldn't get the things you wanted to go after, I would recommend that you come back and give it a go. They've also said that they will continue to monitor the rating distribution and make further adjustments. So if it ends up not being enough, which I will be able to play test here furthermore on my live stream, then we can continue to relay that feedback. So this seems to be the time where communication is actually happening, and we might actually be able to get the things that we need. We can finally get the things that we need, okay? And I think it's important that we also credit this, because oftentimes it's very easy to credit things that are going wrong and ignore the things that are going right and focus on the negative and not on the positive. So I do want to take that into consideration and credit good work when good work is done. So that we can hopefully encourage more of it moving into the future. So major updates here for PvE and PvP for quality of life, and as well as the tank balance changes, which is hopefully going to mix up the meta over there without impeding PvP hopefully too much, because some of those tank buffs probably are unnecessary. But that's it for me here in today's video. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.